All right, we're back, True Seeker. Congrats to the winners. February 11th, put out a video why the Bulls should win their next 4 home games and get to 23-8 at home on the eve of Jordan's 59th birthday. And notice it was their 59th game as well. And if you followed the information from that video, the day of, we put out 3 picks. They went 3-0 that day. The Bulls have gone 4-0 since. And there was another game we liked last night, and that was the Wizards losing to the Pacers. We all talked about all those things in the February 11th video, and if you haven't watched that video, there's still a little bit more information on it for today's games. But again, you guys, this is the power of the knowledge of Gematria, and this is why for the last 8 years, we've torched the world of rigged sports better than anyone ever has before. And again, it's the definitive evidence to see how the league is scripted. And for all the people who can't wrap their head around it, again, it's because they have some kind of mental deficiency. Look at how the Kings scored last night going down to the Bulls. They scored 59 points in the first half, and they scored 59 points in the second half on the eve of Jordan's 59th birthday and the Bulls' 59th game as they got to 23-8 at home. And thinking about picking up the 23rd home win as well, right? Not only does Michael Jordan equal 238, but again, Jordan, starting at guard, number 23, you know? By the way, the 125 points, if you write out numerology, it equals 125, and that's what it's all about. The league is scripted around the language of numerology, and the practice of coding numbers into words is Gematria. Now, again, we looked at this when the Bulls were 19-8 at home, and we said, man, they got 4 straight home games. How perfect if they win the next 4. And sure enough, that's exactly what it went. Some people got a little more creative, and they said, well, hold on. Let's go see if North Carolina's playing around Jordan's birthday. And I think it was Kayla who caught it first. But Kayla saw that if North Carolina got upset last night, and by the way, if you bet 100 last night on North Carolina, it paid $700. Not if you bet 100 on North Carolina. If you bet 100 on Pitt to beat North Carolina, it paid $700 last night. $700. And this is pretty much what insider trading is in the world of rigged sports. While the whole country was getting took betting on North Carolina, the few people who knew that the fix was in, they took advantage of the Pitt upset. And notice North Carolina, Jordan's old school, fell to 18-8. Remember last year before the Super Bowl, I showed you how it was Lock City for Tom Brady in the greatest of all time ritual to win the Super Bowl 188 days after his birthday and surpass Jordan's win mark of 6 championships. Notice Michael Jordan's full name, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, 188. Just like greatest of all time is 188. And also last night, on the eve of Jordan's birthday, we thought his old team, the Wizards, would go down. And the Pacers did beat them, and they beat Jordan's old team with 113 points. And again, if you're new here, there are 4 base ciphers. We've been teaching it the same way, nonstop since the end of 2016. If you've been with me since 2013, we used to only know 2 ciphers back then, but then we just realized we had to run the alphabetic order in reverse, too, to see the other half of the code. And again, the alphabetic order, Michael Jordan's 113, so is Kobe Bryant in that cipher. With numerology, when you write out Michael Jordan, it's 59. If you write out the National Basketball Association, it's also 113 in that cipher. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, Michael Jordan's 238, like his team gets to 23-8 at home on the eve of his birthday. And then when you run it in reverse numerology, Michael Jordan's 76. Notice how his team went down last night, 76-67, the reflection, his old college team. So, we're going to keep this video short and sweet, but just want to say congrats to the winners. Again, all right. So who followed along there? While we started to the old Bulls intro music, Sirius. You know, Michael Jordan's dad died on the Heliacal Rising of Sirius. That song's called Sirius, like the dog star. Anyway, let me show you what we're looking at here. Remember, we covered this last year, and I said, remember when Jordan's 59th birthday rolls around, there's probably going to be some money-making rituals. So I'm going to give you what I'm looking out for to expect to happen by the time it's Jordan's birthday, and this is a string of games here that could potentially be very lucrative. So again, last year, on Jordan's birthday, it was free money. The Wizards became 5-9 at home, and the Bulls became 5-9 at home. And, of course, those are the two teams that Jordan played for. And Michael Jordan is 59 in the most pure cipher. Again, Gematria is based on the alphabetic order forwards and backwards with the rules of numerology. And all these numbers are so important to Michael Jordan's life. But out of these four ciphers, the most pure is that 59. And he's going to turn 59 this year on the 17th, where 59 is the 17th prime number. And remember, NBA, it's the 17 league. So 59, the 17th prime. Jordan born on the 17th. In Black History Month that ends on the 59th day of the year, where 59 is this number stamped all over Black history. And so let's look. Let's look at this year. What could they do this year? The only thing that surprised me about the schedule is they didn't schedule the Bulls for Jordan's birthday, but maybe it would have been too obvious. They play the night before, and when they're playing the night before, where all this scripting comes from, the Jesuits over in Italy, it will be February 17th by the time the Bulls finish their game. But we're going to look at that Bulls game the night prior and the games they have on Jordan's birthday. Of course, Jordan is big with the Hornets right now. Charlotte Hornets are the only team in the NBA that equals 201, like the Jesuit order. And, of course, it's the Jesuits that own Michael Jordan's life. You know, Nike is a Jesuit operation. But let's look at the Hornets' schedule, because I spy something about the Hornets' schedule that could make a lot of sense. And again, watch these patterns. If you doubted it first, watch to see if it happens in the first game, the second game, and then you'll know what's up by the third game. So notice the Hornets. The one question mark is, the only question mark I would have looking at this is, are the Bulls, they could potentially win their next three and go into this game and come into it with 37 wins. Were all those games home games? 1, 2, they're all at home. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's interesting that they're all at home. So there's another thing to think about, because it's about Jordan's birthday. So you got to think about the numbers connected to him. Of course, 23 is connected with Jordan. And Jordan wore 23 and 45 in his career. Both numbers connect to 9. 23 is the 9th prime, 45 is the 9th triangular. But if the Bulls do win their next four, they could come into this game with 37. They might even win on Michael's birthday and pick up that 23rd home win on his 59th birthday. That could, you know what? That's probably what's going to happen. And again, that's the value of knowing all the ciphers. Let's type out Michael Jordan again. Michael Jordan, do you see the 238 when you run it in reverse? Remember how special these numbers are. I'm going to pull up Kobe Bryant's birthday real quick in case you forgot what day it is. But 238's the clue. Kobe Bryant's birthday is 23/8, and his career mirrored Michael Jordan's in so many ways, it's, you know, it can't even be put into words. But where Michael Jordan is 113 in the most simple cipher, so is Kobe Bryant. And remember, when Kobe retired, he finished his career against the Utah Jazz, who Jordan won 2 rings over, and he wrote his retirement poem, Dear Basketball. And again, that's a big number with the NBA period, because the National Basketball Association's 113. Remember when they locked down the NBA on March 11th, 11/3, the day they declared the coronavirus pandemic, and it was blamed on the Utah Jazz player, and that was right after they buried Kobe in Corona Del Mar. But Jordan, 238, the Bulls, if they win these four... Let me see what kind of streak the Bulls are on right now. Honestly, guys, I haven't been paying attention to basketball, but I actually told you guys a year ago that I'd do a free lesson on Jordan's birthday, so I wanted to be true to my word, because I said I know they'll line up some rituals for his 59th birthday next year. So on Michael Jordan's 59th birthday, how do you like the Bulls becoming 23-8 at home and coming into that day with 37 wins versus Sacramento? I think it's making some sense, personally. And again, that's nice knowledge right there. You know, if you put a $10 bill down on the Bulls parlaying the next 4 days of games, your $10 bill will become worth a lot if they win 4 straight. And again, the reason I say it that way is because that's how I've educated my people for years to gamble with this knowledge. Never bet more than you can afford to lose. Be modest and use this knowledge in a smart way to not only look at the games for the day, but the road ahead and turn small parlays into big bills. There's people in my community who have turned $5 bills into several $1,000s. The best parlay I've seen with my own eyes that somebody shared with me was a $10 bill that made over $10,000. And again, that's the way you play with this knowledge. I have people come into my community and they sign up on the wrong week. They sign up on a week where I'm off the mark and they get mad and they say, oh, fuck this is a bunch of bullshit, and then they're out of there. Meanwhile, I've had people with me that have been riding with me for 7 years and been winning year after year after year and building their bankroll. And again, they're the ones who've listened to what I said. Be smart, pay attention, use your own mind, and when big ritualistic days come around, like Jordan's birthday, those are oftentimes the days to really capitalize. Had you done a parlay last year with the Bulls and Wizards both to become 5-9 at home, I forget, I think it was the Wizards who were big dogs. I think the Wizards just alone was a type of game where if you bet 100, it paid 350. You parlay that with another game that's even money, that's a huge payout. You bet $10 on that, it paid nearly $100. Again, that's the way to use this knowledge. So the Bulls have a nice riddle here to potentially get to 23-8 at home. Now, it's always good to look at both sides of the coin. The one thing you'd have to worry about is, like, say the Bulls don't win the next 3. I suspect they will. But let's say they drop one of the games. The one thing you'd have to think about the night of the game is, like, if they're on 22, are they going to give him the 23rd loss on his 59th birthday? I mean, you gotta look at both sides of the coin, and that's why smart people also hedge their bets. But if you want to wait and see, again, if the Bulls win the next 2, you want to wait to see if they win the next 2, man, you better believe they're probably picking up that 37th win to face Sacramento and on their way to 23-8. And you have to ask yourself, what are the odds that that's even possible? That the Bulls can win 4 straight at home and become 23-8 versus the Kings, right? The Kings of all teams, that super symbolic team that's used again and again in so many rituals, especially with LeBron, the new king of the league, who won the All-Star game over Giannis the other year on Jordan's birthday. Okay, so let's think about some other things too. Let's just look at all these games that are scheduled for. And remember, actually, that might also be why they didn't do the Bulls on Jordan's birthday. It might have been too obvious because they know they've been getting exposed for 8 years, these rigged leagues. I've been destroying these leagues for 8 straight years. But, again, this would happen where in the Vatican, it will be Jordan's birthday already. They're a little bit ahead of us in that other part of the world. In Ben Simmons' part of the world, it's an international league. Ben Simmons from Australia traded by the numbers. And again, his dad played for the Melbourne Tigers. He's a LSU Tiger. Year of the Tiger ritual.